Hi everyone. The song I have for you today is a song that I wrote riffing off of a poem by Malcolm Guite called In Praise of Decay. You can find it in his book, Parables and Paradox. And so many times when I write songs to his poetry, I stick fairly close to the poetry and then I just make little alterations to fit it into a song. This one I kind of took a lot of liberties with. So I do want you to hear Malcolm talk about the poem and for you to hear his poem as it first showed up. So I'll be back in a minute with the song, but for now, here's Malcolm Guite. My name is Steve Bell, and this is For the Journey This Week.
Well, hello. It's wonderful to be here in Winnipeg and in Steve's legendary studio. So it's a thrill to me that just every so often one of my poems becomes a starting point or a kind of seed for an unfolding new Steve Bell song. And sometimes a lot of the poem makes it in there. Sometimes the poem is just full of suggestive phrases and Steve does something very creative in another way. In the case of this particular poem, Praise of Decay, you'll see, I think he's taken flight with it in another way, but you'll hear, I get to have one or two of my phrases, as it were, born anew in the song. So let me tell you about how this poem in Praise of Decay came about. I was walking in the autumn in Cambridge. There's a lovely little bit of wilderness area. It's actually called the Paradise, where I would walk regularly. And I was enjoying the autumnal feel and the way the leaves fell and the kind of the patterning, the rich patterning they make on the woodland floor, and just really rejoicing in it all. And then, something caught my eye that just didn't feel right. And I looked, and it was the shiny edge of a plastic bag, that somebody had abandoned. And that it had been there, unchanged, probably for months and months while nature unfolded and did its beautiful transitions around it. It was just this persistent piece of garbage. And I went and found it and took it away, and it was a bit horrible, but I managed to find a bin for it. But it just prompted this. There's a hymn which has the line, "Change and decay, and all around I see. O thou who changest not, abide with me." But actually, I thought we could do with a bit more decay, a bit more of letting go into the loam. So here's how the poem came out in Praise of Decay. So much is deadly in the shiny new. Persistent plastic choking out our life, the landfill of each ego's empty stuff, where poison and possession still accrue. So praise him in the old and mouldering, in pale gold leaf fall losing shape and edge, in mottled compost rustling and rich, from which the stuff of life is still unfolding. Change and decay is what our plastic needs to break the bleak persistence of our waste. Pray that we learn the lost arts of our past, the arts of letting go and sowing seeds, that secrets of the lowly and the least might save us from the dreadful things that last. So that poem was in my book Parable and Paradox, but you'll hear now what remarkable things Steve has done with the kind of undersoil or loam of my poem has grown into something remarkable. You'll get to hear it now.
There are older ways of living, much wiser than the ways we know. Kinder and forgiving of the limits we're inclined to loathe. Native to this land that God has given us to grow, the seeds of love, the shoot of faith, the tree of hope. in the spiral of our sinning, in the manufactured grim disgrace of betraying our beginnings with viral acts of greed and waste. Planted in the midst of these bewildering displays lies a garden tended by a gardener's grace. Perhaps it's not so bad that things decay, that ocean breakers ebb and flow away, that light ascends and settles at the ending of the day, that beating hearts can stop and start again. There's a reverence unfolding from the secrets of the lowly and least, and the arts of better knowing, of letting go and planting seeds. Blessed are the ones who harrow wisdom from the past to save us from these dreadful things at last. Perhaps it's not so bad that things decay, that ocean breakers ebb and flow away, that light ascends and settles at the ending of the day, that beating hearts can stop and start again. Perhaps it's not so bad that things decay, that ocean breakers ebb and flow away, light ascends and settles at the ending of the day, that beating hearts can stop and start again.